What's going on, Knicks fans? Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Give me a follow on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. I'm always down to chop it up about Knicks hoops in the DMs. They're open, slide in them, and let's talk some ball. In today's show, we're going to take a look at the latest rumors around Tom Thibodeau, the rumors about Mitchell Robinson and what teams are going to be pursuing him in NBA free agency, and should the Knicks finally, and I say finally, bench Alec Burks and start Immanuel Quickley. But first, we're going to touch on the report that came out on Tuesday about Tom Thibodeau being back for the 2022 and 2023 season. There's been a lot of rumors that he may be fired, he may be canned. Him and Worldwide West didn't really get along. Worldwide West picked his assistant coaching staff. Worldwide West wants Johnny Bryant to be the next head coach, but Jake Fisher, he works for Bleacher Report, he tweeted this out on Tuesday and said, despite league-wide speculation, New York is expected to retain Tom Thibodeau as the Knicks head coach beyond this 2021-2022 NBA season. More details at Bleacher Report. You don't got to go to Bleacher Report. You go right here because we break it down when New York Knicks news and rumors come out. And the one thing about New York Knicks Now, we rely on audience interaction. So get down in the comments section and let me know. Should the Knicks fire Tom Thibodeau? He had a great first year with the Knicks. This second year hasn't worked out that well. There's been some injuries, and they've really just underperformed. But get in the comment section and let me know. Type F for fire or type K for keep. If the Knicks make a move on Tom Thibodeau, we will be talking about it on this channel, youtube.com/KnicksTV. And look, we're 17 subscribers away from 5,000. Help us get there by today. If we get there by today on the next show, I'll start with doing some shots on the show to celebrate getting to 5K. So let's do it. And look, we're a one-stop shop for all New York Knicks news and rumors. So if you love the Knicks and you're looking for a spot on YouTube for more Knicks content, we're your guys, youtube.com/KnicksTV. Back on Tom Thibodeau, the expectations were set too high last year. What do I mean by that? There was nobody, and I'm the biggest Knicks fan there is, that believed that they could be the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference last year. And I know it's nothing to throw a parade about and celebrate about, but that's one of the best seasons in Knicks history in a very long time. So we were happy about it, but they exceeded expectations. They set the bar too high. This is pretty much what they're doing this year is what they should have been doing last year. And right now, I would say because of last year's success, they're behind on where they should be. But this is what we thought and knew that the team they were the whole time. But the beef that I have with Tom Thibodeau is his refusal to change. What's the saying? Old dogs don't learn new tricks. But that's why Tom Thibodeau has been fired at every spot that he's been at. He's worn out his welcome, and he's refused to change. He sticks to the defensive-minded strategy of having to have a big center on the floor on offense that clogs the paint. He relies on veterans with way too much. He tries to develop the vets. The only coach in the NBA that believes it's worth playing Alec Burks when the season is lost over Immanuel Quickley at point guard. But I thought what Tom Thibodeau had to say a couple days ago in an interview about playing young guys. He was asked, what do you think about playing all the young guys? Do you think they should get more minutes? Should Miles McBride get more minutes? This is what Tibbs had to say. I thought it was pretty interesting. You give them what they earn. You go day by day. You have to earn your minutes. That's the way it works here, so we'll see. Well, Tommy Tibbs, if that is the way it works here, and that's what you truly believe in, then why is Alec Burks still the starting point guard for the New York Knicks? In the last 32 games, pretty much the whole second half of the NBA season, he has been an absolute stiff on the court. And I like Alec Burks. What he did last year in the playoffs against the Atlanta Hawks, he won us a game by himself. This year, though, in the last 32 games, averaging 9.8 points per game, solid. 3.5 assists per game for a guy that's playing point guard that's not really a point guard. All right, that's okay. But the field goal percentage, 34% from the deck and shooting 33% from deep. Not only is he not a good point guard, but he hasn't been an efficient player for the Knicks. And every time he plays, it's just you don't get anything out of today and tomorrow. For Tom Thibodeau, practice what you preach. If you're going to go out on a limb and berate a reporter and say that you earn the minutes you get, you reap what you sow, then why does Alec Burks continue to be the point guard for this basketball team? If you really believe that you earn what you get, then Immanuel Quickley would be the starting point guard because what he's done in the last 10 games is truly sensational. He's having the best stretch of his young NBA career. He's averaging about 15 points per game in the last 10, 3.5 assists, 48.5% from the field, and a scorching 45 34% from deep. Whenever Immanuel Quickley is in the game, the team just looks different. They play with a different pace. There's more ball movement. There's more spacing. The team is just more effective in the half court, and they're better in the transition game. Immanuel Quickley needs to be the point guard because it's time for the Knicks to find out if he can be a point guard. If not, that's fine because he can still be a valuable asset off the bench for the New York Knicks in a super six-man type of role, kind of like the Lou Will role he had with all the teams he had stops with in the association. But pick a point guard for me. We've done this on the show. It doesn't matter if the graphic's not up. Type AB for Alec Burks. Type IQ for Immanuel Quickley. Get in the comment section and let me know. And one thing you don't want to bench is BetUS. Go to chatsports.com/bet and plug in the promo code CHAT125. When you do those two things and you deposit 100 bones, they will match it with a 125% deposit bonus. So you'll have 225 big ones to bet on games, maybe in the March Madness tourney. Maybe that's where you want to lay some cheddar on, and you can do it on the first number 1 seed to get eliminated. I just filled out my bracket. I haven't watched a lick of college hoops this year because I've been dialed into my Knicks, and I bet I think the Kentucky Wildcats are going to win, and maybe it's just because the Knicks have the most Wildcats on their roster. But if you think the Baylor Bears will get eliminated first, it's plus 150. Then the Kansas Jayhawks is plus 175. The Arizona Wildcats plus 200, and the Zags are plus 350. Chatsports.com/bet, promo code CHAT125. Mitchell Robinson rumors have been coming out recently. He's set to be an unrestricted free agent this summer, and the reports are that the Knicks and Mitch are not even close on a contract negotiation. And I'm with Mitchell Robinson on this. I'm all about the player getting their money, and that's what he wants. He wants to secure the bag. He saw the Jared Allen contract of 5 years, $100 million. He saw the 2-year extension for almost $50 million for Clint Capella, and he said, you know what? I may not be as good as those guys, but I do think that I deserve a lot of money. Maybe he wants $15 million to $18 million per year. That's what I'm hearing, and he might be worth that. But the teams that, according to Bleacher Report, that are expected to pursue Mitch Rob are the Detroit Pistons, who had interest at the trade deadline for Robinson, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Dallas Mavericks. They've been long rumored to Mitchell Robinson about trading for him, and they have interest in pairing him alongside Luka Doncic. What Mitch Rob has done this season is what he's done essentially his whole NBA career, averaging about 8.5 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, almost 2 blocks, and shooting 77% from the field. Excuse me. But this is a guy that is what he is. He's a dunker. He's a rim-running threat. He's a lob guy. He's a good defensive presence. He can switch on to smalls. He can block shots with Kevin Durant like we saw a couple of days ago. He's an athletic freak, and he shoots a high field goal percentage because all he really does is dunk the ball. And that's good, but it's also a problem because the Knicks are often 48% from the line as well, an area he has not gotten better at, and that's a problem because we want to see him to get better, but he's really the same player he was when he first came to the NBA. When he's on the court, you're essentially playing 4-on-5 on offense, especially with the Knicks not having a point guard. But Mitchell Robinson and his agent, they have the Knicks backed into a corner because you don't just want to have him walk in free agency for nothing. They didn't trade him at the deadline when there was offers on the table from the Detroit Pistons and reportedly the Dallas Mavericks. So now he's going to be an unrestricted free agent, and you're going to have to show him the big bucks if you want him to be a Knick next season. So Robinson right now is in a win-win situation. He's got to get the bag from another team, or if he wants to stay a Knick, they're going to have to give him a bag. So be the GM. If you were Leon Rose and you were once NBA free agency opened up, would you re-sign Mitchell Robinson? He's a key piece on defense. He's a good defender. He's an athletic big. He's still just 24 years old, but at the end of the day, with the way the NBA is evolving, you need someone on offense at the center spot that can contribute outside of dunks and alley-oops. But I think you have to re-sign him because you don't want to lose him for nothing, but weigh in, type R for re-sign, or you can go down and type P for pass. Give me a follow on Twitter, fellas. I'd really appreciate it. If you made it this far in the video, I'll do this for you. Give me a follow and send me a DM letting me know you came from this video, and I will give you a follow back. I'm tweeting about the Knicks all day, every day. I love the Knicks. I bleed blue and orange. Seeing a win last night was awesome. Anytime we can talk about the Knicks, I'm happy. So hit me up on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_.